Hey there, it's Uncle Luke story time here, um, and I wanted to read some excerpts from my new gardening book, How to Grow Vegetables in Pots and Containers, which is available on Amazon and Kindle. And I just want to give you a little taste of it on this like steaming hot June day, um, sitting by the garden. So we're going to start here with chapter 1, which is called Location, Location, Location. It starts with a quote: "Life begins the day you start a garden." It's an old Chinese proverb. So you've probably heard the saying that fortunate people find themselves in the right place at the right time. Well, this is particularly true when you're growing a vegetable garden in pots and containers. No matter what varieties of fruits, herbs, or vegetables you plan to grow, you'll need to place them in the right part of your area that you plan to garden, and at the right time of the year to get the best results. But before you decide what plants you want to grow, before you even open a bag of seeds or soil, you need to make a decision on where you'll place your containers. Part 1, finding the perfect location. You may already have a spot picked out for your pots and container plants. It may seem like a perfect spot. Easy to access, nothing else is growing there, and you just know it will look pretty when your plants are growing. But before you do anything else, you should make sure that the spot you have in mind is actually the perfect location for growing in pots and containers. Locating the ideal spot for growing healthy plants isn't difficult. You simply need to walk around your gardening space and pay attention to the natural environment. Now, I'm going to just deviate for a minute here. That could be walking around your patio, walking around your front steps, walking around your balcony, walking around the vacant lot next door, or walking around your backyard and front yard and front steps. So you simply need to walk around your gardening space and pay attention to the natural environment. This is a great way to start experiencing the zen of gardening. As you move around your yard, take the time to notice where the sun is coming from. Right now, it's pretty much directly overhead. How much light hits the ground? What other plants are growing? And generally try to get a sense of whether a vegetable garden will grow happily in your chosen spots. So as you move around your space, thinking about how your garden will look, pay attention to the direction of the sun. A simple compass can help determine the correct direction the light comes to your garden from. Areas with southern light exposure will get the most consistent sun unless there are obstructions like buildings and trees. I've got a fair amount of shade at certain times of the day in my backyard. You may have good success planting vegetables facing east or west if a south-facing planting isn't possible. It usually is not a good idea to grow spring-summer vegetables in north-facing locations because daylight quickly vanishes in these areas. When you walk around your space, face the sun and put your arms out from your sides. Let the light fall on you and turn slowly. You'll notice that less light will fall on your face and arms as you move away from facing south. As you face north, the sun will barely fall on your face at all, even at high noon. You should think about how much sun your vegetables will get when you plant them facing your chosen direction. You might find that your ideal location is slightly different from the spot you wish to grow in. While this exercise may seem a little silly, it's an excellent first step to conceptualizing how the natural conditions of your garden will be once it begins to grow. You should spend at least a few minutes in the morning, midday, and afternoon simply slowing down and imagining how life would be if you were growing in that spot. Is it hot in the afternoon sun on a cool day? Do trees and buildings block midday light? Does it take all morning before sunlight hits the spot you want to plant your vegetables? Answering these questions helps to focus your attention on the best location for planting. It's essential to answer these questions before planting because it's more challenging to move containers with growing plants. P.S. They can get a little heavy. Than to start in a good location. Picking the wrong place for growing in containers is one of the common mistakes people often make when they are new to container gardening. It's an easy mistake because we all have a spot where we wish we had plants growing. One of my first students was struggling to get a garden started. The spot seemed ideal. It was close to the kitchen and had a water faucet right by it. Seeds would sprout but would die before they even had real leaves. What seemed like a mystery at first turned out to be relatively straightforward. The spot my student had chosen as a garden was in deep shade by midday from 3 massive maple trees. That's what I've got. And a giant birch tree, growing on the other side of the fence. We moved the garden to a slightly less convenient spot, but one that had a good amount of light all day, and the garden flourished. So that's a little taste of what you'll get in Luke Potter's How to Grow Vegetables in Pots and Containers. A lot of you have already ordered the book, read it, reviewed it. Those of you who have it and haven't reviewed it yet, I really need your help in getting some reviews posted on Amazon. It helps keeps the book alive in Amazon's algorithm, and it also makes the book more readily available to other families who want to grow healthy organic food for their families. I've been struggling the past few weeks with something that's been getting into my garden and chowing down all the beans and cucumber plants. And first I was thinking it was rabbits, but then I put up fencing. I'm like, there's no way a rabbit could get through there. And then I thought it was squirrels, so I put up fencing that I thought would deter the squirrels with netting and this and that, and still the stuff was getting devoured. Then today, in the middle of the day, what I thought were nocturnal animals, I found one in my garden. And what it was a baby bunny, no bigger than this, tiny. So it could easily fit through these 2 by 2 inch squares in the fence and make a feast of my vegetables. Didn't touch potatoes, didn't touch the tomatoes, was very selective, hasn't touched the corn, hasn't touched the squash. So I've moved a lot of those things to containers in my front yard where there's less preponderance for rabbits, and to actually get to them, the little bunnies would have to hop up onto the stairs and climb the stairs. So fingers crossed, I think I've found the solution. I've certainly found the culprit, as cute as they are. So if you want to learn more, hop online, you can order the book, join the Facebook group. You get a lot of great advice and suggestions from gardeners from all over the world. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Stay cool. It's summertime here in New England. The garden is flourishing, and I hope you have an abundant day. Thanks for everything. Talk soon.